Hello everyone. So today in this video we will be dealing with divorce, legitimacy of illegitimate children and the jurisdiction. So divorce, as we all know, is a process by which the marriage is dissolved. It comes to an end. The parties, they revert to their unmarried status and are free to marry again, unlike judicial separation. According to section 13 of the Hindu Marriage Act, either of the parties to the marriage can file a petition to the district court praying for the dissolution of the marriage. No petition for divorce can be filed within 1 year of the marriage as per section 14 of the Hindu Marriage Act. The next topic we have is the theories of divorce. The first one we have is the fault theory, also known as the guilt theory. Under this theory, marriages can be dissolved only when either party to the marriage has committed a matrimonial offense. तो एक पार्टी गिल्टी होगी और एक पार्टी इनोसेंट होगी. The second we have is mutual consent. Since two persons can marry by their own free will, they should also be allowed to move out of the relationship by their own free will, जिसको हम बोलते हैं divorce by mutual consent. The third theory we have is irretrievable breakdown. Breakdown is basically defined as such failure in the matrimonial relationship that no reasonable probability remains for the spouses to again live together. Such marriages should be dissolved with maximum fairness and minimum humiliations. The next topic we have is the grounds for divorce. The first we have is the grounds which are available for both husband and wife. The first one we have is adultery. Adultery is the consensual sexual intercourse between a married person other than his or her own spouse during the subsistence of the marriage. Before 1976, the condition was living in adultery. But after the amendment of 1976, the single act of adultery is sufficient. The case herein we have is Chandramohini versus Avinash, AIR 1967, in which it was said that mere love letter to the wife by another person would not amount to the act of adultery. The second we have is cruelty. Before 1976 amendment, cruelty was ground for judicial separation only. Now it is a ground for both judicial separation and divorce. Cruelty means such conduct as to cause physical violence, of causing bodily hurt or danger to the person of the petitioner. Not only it includes physical but also the mental cruelty. The concept of cruelty varies from time to time and from society to society depending upon the socio-economic conditions. In the case of Daston versus Daston, AIR 1970, the 5 tests were laid down for determining that a given conduct amounts to legal cruelty or not. The first one was the act constituting cruelty should be proved according to the law of evidence. The second was the apprehension in the petitioner's mind of real injury or harm. Such apprehension should be reasonable having regard to socio-economic conditions. The petitioner should not have taken advantage of his position. The petitioner should not by his or her conduct have done the act of cruelty. The third ground herein we have is of desertion. Before the amendment of 1976, desertion was the ground for judicial separation only, and now it is the ground for both judicial separation and divorce. Desertion basically means leaving the spouse by the other spouse without any reasonable cause. The spouse who deserts is called the deserting spouse, and the other one is known as the deserted spouse. For example, if the wife leaves the husband for the parental home and remains there, the wife is called the deserting spouse and the husband is called the deserted spouse. The period for the desertion must not be less than 2 years proceeding from the date of presentation of the petition. To constitute desertion, the following 2 conditions must be satisfied. The first one is the factum of separation, that is intention to live separately and intention to bring the cohabitation to an end permanently. The fourth ground we have is of conversion. Conversion means the change of religion. It is a process by which one person gets converted from one religion to another. For example, if a Hindu took Christianity, he or she ceased to be a Hindu. Under subclause 2 of section 13, clause 1 of Hindu Marriage Act, if the respondent has ceased to be a Hindu by conversion to another religion, divorce may be obtained under the 2 conditions which has to be satisfied. The first one is respondent has ceased to be a Hindu and he has converted to another religion. The fifth one we have is insanity or unsoundness of mind or mental disorder, which is a ground for both judicial separation and divorce. Before 1976 amendment, the respondent must have been incurably of unsound mind for a period of 2 years for judicial separation and for the period of 3 years for divorce. The 1976 amendment changed the position. The respondent has been incurably of unsound mind or has been suffering from mental disorder that the petitioner cannot reasonably be expected to live with the respondent. The next we have is leprosy. After the amendment of 1976, it has also been made a ground for both judicial separation and divorce. No duration of leprosy is specified. Under the clause, the petitioner is required to show that the respondent has been suffering from virulent and incurable leprosy. Only these two conditions are to be satisfied, that leprosy is of virulent and incurable nature. However, with the advancement in the medical science, leprosy is now mostly curable in its early stages. Then the seventh ground we have is of venereal diseases. Earlier, that is before the amendment of 1976, to get the decree of divorce on the ground of venereal diseases, the respondent had been suffering from it for a period of not less than 3 years. Now it is sufficient if the respondent is suffering from the disease at the time of filing of the petition. The present section requires that the disease must be in a communicable form. The venereal diseases are only such diseases which are communicated by a sexual intercourse. The eighth ground here we have is of renunciation of world. The petitioner can seek divorce if the respondent has renounced the world by entering into any religious order. The renunciation requires relinquishment of all the properties and worldly affairs, which also is known as sannyas le lena in Hindi. The ninth one we have is of the unheard for 7 years. If the whereabouts of one spouse are unknown for a period of 7 years, the other spouse can presume his or her death and can institute a petition for the dissolution of marriage. Also, under section 108 of Evidence Act, a person is presumed to be dead if he is not heard of as alive for 7 years or more by those who would have normally heard from him or about him. The 10th ground we have is of after the decree of judicial separation. If the disputing spouses do not reconcile or resume the matrimonial life within the 1 year from the date of decree under section 10, either of the spouses can file for a petition of divorce under section 13. Then the last ground which is available for both husband and wife for divorce is after the decree of restitution of conjugal rights. If the parties do not rejoin or resume matrimonial home within 1 year or upwards after obtaining the decree of restitution of conjugal rights, either of the parties can resort to file a petition for divorce. The next herein we have is the grounds which are available for wife only. The first one is bigamy. Section 13 clause 2 subclause 1 of the Hindu Marriage Act 1955 provides that in the case of the marriage of the wife solemnized before the commencement of the act, the wife can apply for divorce on the ground that the husband had married again before such commencement of the act. Monogamy, which is a man or a woman must not have more than one spouse living, which is also the condition of valid Hindu marriage under section 5 clause 1. If the husband whose wife is alive gets married again, it amounts to bigamy and is guilty of an offence under section 494 of IPC. Also, the second one is sexual offences. A wife can file a petition under section 13 if her husband is guilty of rape, sodomy or bestiality. The third ground available for wife is after the decree for maintenance. Under subclause 3 of section 13 clause 2, where a decree or order has been passed against the husband awarding maintenance to the wife, notwithstanding the first point, she was living apart. The second, since the passing of such decree or order, cohabitation between the parties has not been resumed for 1 year or upwards. A wife on this ground may present a petition for the dissolution of her marriage by a decree of divorce. यानी कि 3 कंडीशंस फुलफिल होनी चाहिए डाइवोर्स लेने के लिए सेक्शन 13 क्लॉज 2 सब क्लॉज 3 के अंडर. पहली कंडीशन है जो पिटिशनर है वो वाइफ होनी चाहिए. सेकंड कंडीशन है डिक्री ऑफ मेंटेनेंस होना चाहिए, चाहे वो सेक्शन 18 हिंदू एडॉप्शन एंड मेंटेनेंस एक्ट में हो, चाहे वो सेक्शन 125 सीआरपीसी में हो। थर्ड कंडीशन ये है कि हस्बैंड और वाइफ 1 ईयर या उससे ज़्यादा हो गए हैं डिग्री पास हुए हुए और वो लोग साथ में कोहैबिट नहीं कर रहे हैं। तो द फोर्थ ग्राउंड नेक्स्ट वी हैव इज़ फॉर रेपुडिएशन ऑफ मैरिज। This provision was enshrined in the Act after the amendment of 1976, where a marriage was solemnized before or after the Act. If the woman was below the age of 15 years, she can apply for divorce before attaining the age of 18 years, whether the marriage was consummated or not. The next we have is divorce by mutual consent, that is section 13B. It falls into the category of the theories which we have discussed earlier, the mutual consent theory. So divorce by mutual consent basically means when both the parties agree to dissolve their marriage. Herein we have 4 conditions which needs to be fulfilled. The first condition is that both the spouses should present the petition jointly. The second condition is the parties have been living separately for more than 1 year. The third condition is they have not been able to live together. The fourth one is they mutually agree and want to dissolve the marriage. Also, after filing the petition, the parties may withdraw the petition. If they did not, the court may after 6 months and before 18 months pass a decree for divorce after hearing the parties. यानी कि म्यूचुअल कंसेंट डाइवोर्स की पिटीशन फाइल करने के बाद भी 6 महीने का टाइम पार्टीज़ को दिया जाता है जिसमें वो अपनी पिटीशन विड्रॉ कर सकती हैं। अगर वो विड्रॉ नहीं करते हैं तो कोर्ट 6 महीने बाद और 18 महीने से पहले डाइवोर्स की डिक्री पास कर देगा पार्टीज़ को सुनने के बाद। लेट्स जस्ट क्विकली रिकॉल जुडिशियल सेपरेशन एंड डाइवोर्स। जुडिशियल सेपरेशन इज डिफाइंड अंडर सेक्शन 10. The conjugal rights are suspended under judicial separation. Parties cannot remarry during this period. Its object is to unite the couple. Then talking about divorce, it is defined in section 13 and 13B. The marriage is dissolved. Unlike judicial separation, parties are free to remarry after divorce. The object of divorce is to, as we all know, dissolve the marriage. The next topic we have is of legitimacy of children of void and voidable marriages, section 16. We have already discussed what are void and voidable marriages in our previous video. So the children of such marriages will deemed to be legitimate. They will not be legitimate, but they will deemed to be, but will be incapable of acquiring the share in the property of any other person except their parents. The next topic here we have is the punishment for the contravention of conditions which are given under section 5. The first is in contravention of section 5 clause 3, that is the age of the parties, rigorous imprisonment which may extend to 2 years, fine extending to 1 lakh rupees or both. The next is in contravention to section 5 clause 4 clause 5, that is prohibited relationship and subtender relationship, simple imprisonment extending to 1 month, fine extending to 1000 rupees or both. The last topic we have is the court where the petition shall be presented, that is section 19. The first is where the marriage is solemnized. The second is the respondent at the time of presenting the petitioner resides. The third is the parties last resided together. The fourth is in case of wife being the petitioner where she is residing. The fifth is where the petitioner is residing in case the respondent is residing outside the territory of India or his or her whereabouts are not known for more than 7 years. So with this we complete our Hindu Marriage Act. Thank you so much for watching my videos.